The devastating financial effects of COVID-19 have hit small businesses and hit them hard, particularly micro businesses. The impact of COVID-19 on micro businesses looks at why businesses owned by people of color, women, immigrants, all were highly susceptible and are susceptible to an economic downturn, and that was before the pandemic hit. Joining us now to discuss is Research Manager of Applied Research Prosperity Now. He is Lebaron Sims, joining us from Atlanta. Welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Well, let's begin by explaining to me and to the rest of our audience what a micro business actually is.
Sure. Micro business is a small business in the way that we typically think about small businesses. A micro business has fewer than 10 employees or no employees at all. Generally speaking, micro businesses are also largely self-financed and typically are started with less than $35,000 in startup capital. A lot of micro businesses are run by people who rely on those micro businesses as their primary source of income. And in a lot of cases, those micro businesses serve as replacements for, employment in the typical economy or employment for another employer, especially in difficult economic times.
And so when we hear about the government, coming up with money to help businesses stay afloat and to take care of their employees, are we finding that those PPPs are coming to micro businesses as well, or is that not the case?
It really hasn't been the case. There's been two rounds of the PPP loans, or the Paycheck Protection loans, and those loans were designed to, reach America's small businesses. Now, the way that the Small Business Administration defines a small business is having 500 or fewer employees. That said, these larger small businesses, small businesses with 100 or more employees, tend to have better connections to lenders. And ultimately, when the PPP loans were distributed, those loans went to businesses that already had those existing relationships with lenders. And as I mentioned before, a lot of micro businesses, especially those with that are sole proprietorships, or those that don't have any employees beyond the owner, are self-financed. They are started with savings. They're started with loans and gifts from friends or family. And those businesses tend to be passed over when it comes to access to capital or access to financing through banks or through lenders.
So it's a big hit for entrepreneurs out there who are trying to start a micro business for whatever it may happen to be. What are the avenues or the roads to try to find some sort of financial help for those people that get caught in that no man's land out there where they can't depend on a bank to help them?
Well, it's tough. Those are some structural issues that existed well before the COVID-19 pandemic kind of slowed down the American economy. A lot of these businesses didn't have those routes or that access to capital 3 months ago, 3 years ago, and honestly, three decades ago. There are grants available. And obviously, there are some small businesses and micro businesses that have been able to access the PPP loans. Those are the lucky few. And those have largely come through those relationships with community banks, in particular CDFIs, or community development finance institutions. Those have been a real boon to small businesses over the years, and especially minority and Black-owned businesses over the years. Those lenders tend to offer smaller dollar loans that are typically too small for a bigger bank to underwrite. But these are the loans that float micro businesses and give them an opportunity to capitalize on new markets. They give them an opportunity to buy new equipment so that they can scale up. And in a lot of cases, it helps them to scale up so that they're able to add an employee.
Okay. And Mr. Sims, before we let you go, you're championing a great cause here with these micro businesses, and people might be a little bit discouraged about trying to start a business to follow their passion during these troubling times. What words of encouragement would you have for those folks?
Well, I was an economics major in undergrad, and one of the first things they teach you about is the business cycle. I know it's pretty abstract. We go through recessions, we go through boom periods. This time last year we were in a boom period. Honestly, this time 3 months ago we were in a boom period, and it's difficult to really see the light. But generally speaking, recessions are also opportunities for people to start out on their own. One of the trends that we see, and that we didn't have enough time to touch on in the report, but we've seen a major increasing trend in minority business ownership over the past 8 years, and that's due in large part to the recovery from the recession. Unfortunately, a lot of the jobs that left may not come back, which is not, I know that's not the hope that you were asking for, but it does free people up to pursue that passion. And ultimately, again, as long as our elected officials stand behind their words that the small business is the backbone of the U.S. economy, then they'll come through for America's small and micro business owners, and they'll give them the support that they need to weather this storm, so that they're able to see the other side and to prosper once this crisis is over. We definitely don't want our small business owners and potential small business owners to be afraid to start new businesses. That entrepreneurial spirit is the American ethos, and ultimately, if our elected officials want to spur a robust economy in the coming years and coming months, supporting our micro businesses is the way to accomplish that.
Well, there's a song for that. The sun will come out tomorrow, right? All right, Lebaron Sims.
I've been listening to a lot of Stevie Wonder lately. That'll get you through.
There you go. It was his birthday yesterday. But anyway, Lebaron, thank you so much for your help. Thank you for the report. And keep up the good work, and please stay safe.
All right, you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.